Welcome to Jurassic Park.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Why don't we just wait here for a little while?
Do you want to know what it is?
There's no knowing where you might be swept off to.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Shepherds we shall be, for thee, my Lord, for thee.
I don't know. I'm making this up as I go.
There's a special rug in hell reserved for people who waste good scotch.
He peed on my rug!
He peed on the dude's rug.
Do your worst.
Final report of the commercial starship Nostromo.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Welcome to your feature presentation. I'm your host, Heath Fall, and today I'm interviewing a very interesting character. Say your name, character.
We are Smeagol.
Smeagol. Smeagol. Interesting name. So, what brings you? What brings you here?
We went to the looking pool just to catch some fishes.
Now, I hear the looking pool is nice and cool. Is that correct? Maybe it's juicy sweet.
So tasty sweet.
Wow. What a character. I feel like I started as a unique character and it slowly turned into Carson.
I don't know who are you supposed to be? I don't know.
This is radio announcer guy. But I slowly started turning into Carson. I can't do a Carson, but I was trying. Welcome everyone to your feature presentation. We're going to be talking about some movies coming out this week. We're going to be talking about, I don't even know what else. That threw everything under the bus for me.
We're so fun. We're talking movies. We're talking top sequels. Our top 5 sequels.
Yes.
We do have some movies coming out this weekend. I will not share them with my mediocre Smeagol / Gollum impression. They are Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Wow, what a mouthful. And Not Another Church Movie.
Yeah, so these are 2 movies coming out this weekend. And unfortunately, those characters you heard us say they were birthed on this show, and now they've been laid to rest.
And they will die on this show.
So if he's turned it off, sorry to see you go.
Yeah. Well, whoops.
Do you have a synopsis for Not Another Church Movie?
Yeah. So it is Tyler Ferry is commanded by God to write a movie inspired by his crazy, dysfunctional family. But the devil has his own devious plans in this hilarious spoof comedy.
Oh. And hey, if you want, we always joke that we try not to say negative things. That doesn't seem like a movie that I want to watch, but if that sounds fun to you, go see it. Go see that movie.
Just a comedy, you know?
Yeah. And then Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is coming out this weekend as well. We talked a lot about that in our most anticipated summer movies, which was last week's episode. So if you want to hear us talk more about that, I would suggest you listen to that episode. That was a fun one. We went over a lot of summer movies coming out, just like not even like a top list, just like these are like 15 of movies we're excited to see, and we want everyone to know like what's coming out this summer. And yeah, so right now we're going to get into this episode of our top 5 sequels, once again using the Gorley method. So if we have anything that's the same, we'll wait till the person with the higher tier answer to talk about that. So let's start it off, Andrew. What is your number 5?
Yeah, number 5.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Are you defining sequel? If it's part of a trilogy, are you okay with it? Is that still a sequel?
Yeah.
Or are we saying the sequel is just the second one?
Yeah. I would consider sequel broader. I think actually all of mine happen to be seconds, but I'm okay with a third because that's part. It's a sequel in a series of sequels.
Yeah. So all mine are seconds as well. So I'm glad we're on the same page. But I did notice when I was just researching this topic, I was like, some people call like The Return of the King a sequel to The Two Towers.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know if I quite agree with that, but if that's how you choose to live your life, God bless you.
Yeah, enjoy. I think I would consider it one of the sequels to The Fellowship of the Ring.
Okay. Interesting.
If that's a better way to describe that, because there are 2. But what would be, I think, disqualified, in my opinion, is, let's say, Alien Covenant while it is a sequel to Prometheus, both are prequels to the original. So my foundation is the original movie, and if it is a sequel off of that original story. So we'll see.
Which a lot of horror movies do that. Like, oh, they'll come out like Halloween did this. Halloween. Where the 2018 Halloween was a sequel to the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, I think that was Halloween 8, 9, maybe somewhere in there.
Of release, but not
Yes.
order of story. Yeah,
And they're like, we're ignoring that. So that's a different thing. But today we're defining it as seconds or just
Yes.
movies based on, the big one, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So let's jump in.
Yeah,
What is your
okay.
number 5?
Number 5, follow up to the original movie, for me is The Dark Knight.
Oh,
Yeah, Christopher Nolan.
sing it to me. It's not on my
Yeah.
list.
Oh, really? Wow. Honestly, I thought that this would be like a week where we have the literal same 5 just like mixed up in there. This was
I think the opposite, actually. I think we have a lot of
Oh.
different.
I'm excited then.
We'll see this. Yeah.
Because we also rarely disagree because we're really in sync.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, our host energy is the same. So anyway, The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan, Christian Bale's second iteration of Batman, my favorite of the 3. It has Heath Ledger, very famously, and just a really good movie. It's, I think, a theme for me and the sequels that I like is taking the foundation of the first movie, which sometimes can be a little slow or like building up to something, and just completely exploding into that world that it's created. So I think The Dark Knight does that perfectly. It's so big, so action-packed, delivers on everything you want out of Christian Bale's Batman. Just so fun.
Yeah, that was a great one. I didn't think of that personally, but I mean, I think most people would say it is the best of the 3. I think that'd be fairly universal, which, I mean, it started off really strong. I think Batman Begins doesn't get talked about a lot just because it's overshadowed by its sequel. But something we've even talked about this before, but it's so interesting to me. We talk about Christopher Nolan movies, and if he hadn't started, or one of his earlier movies would have been Batman, because I know he's done stuff before. But right now, Christopher Nolan, if I was going to say, if he hadn't done Batman, and it was like, Christopher Nolan is going to do a Batman movie, you wouldn't believe it. You know what I mean?
I'd be like,
that's
I'm not going to
almost-
watch that.
It's like, wait, what? He's doing a Batman movie?
I'm not going to be able to make sense of it.
Yeah. Times.
So The Dark Knight, fun fact, was the first and last midnight release of a movie. It's the only midnight release that I've ever seen.
The Dark Knight?
Because shortly after, movie theaters stopped doing them.
Yeah. Let's talk about this trend of a midnight release happening at 7 p.m.
I know.
mean, come on.
Dude, I was in line for this movie at 6 p.m. And
Really?
Oh, yeah. The line was huge. We were 4th. Me and my buddy were 4th and 5th in line to see The Dark Knight, and we stayed for 5 or 6 hours before we got inside.
I was working at Mongolian Barbecue at the time, and we all went to the theater afterwards. And as we were a lot of us, me and my buddies, were like grillers. And so as they would cut us, the first person to go would go to the line. And so we would meet up. So I got to thankfully join my other compatriots that were
Your
in there for a
comrades.
while. Yeah, my
Grilling
comrades.
comrades.
And I'm from a fairly small, well, I don't know if you call Traverse City a small town or not, but it was 2 theaters, I guess, and there was a 10-screen theater, and every screen was showing The Dark Knight.
You're kidding.
Right? Yeah, it was like, that was a cool experience. Like this whole line snaking through all the cars and just going to see one movie, and that was really fun. It's like, man, look at all these people, and like we're unified.
We're
And
all
I
here to
love
do the
Dark
same
Knight.
thing. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
so
fun.
cool. All right. What's number 5 for you, Heath?
So my number 5 is Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Ooh, that's on my list.
Yeah, so this
Further
is
down.
and I have a feeling. Oh wait, further down or
Well,
further up?
Actually, it's number 4, which I would go next anyway. So keep going.
Okay. So yeah, it's a sequel to the first Terminator movie, and James Cameron directed, which that's a trend. We'll
My
see.
boy.
James Cameron jumps into series and does a second one. But it's just such a solid movie. It's so like, I don't know. It's one of those movies where I think an idea was started in the first one,
Mhm.
and I think a sequel is like it took that idea further. And not saying like the first movie was like half baked, but sometimes it's like that was the idea, that was the new thing, and now the sequel is like, oh, we can really kick this in.
Yeah, higher budget. You can do more. Looks better. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Terminator 2 is my number 4. James Cameron, the man when it comes to jumping into a successful series for number 2 with a higher budget, making it bigger, better, faster, stronger. Just so fun. The theme song for Terminator 2 gets just like popped into my head all the time because it's just like dun 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 dun. Yeah, that's just the thumping.
Yeah.
So good. Oh yeah. All right. So that's my number 4. What's
Sweet.
your number 4?
Oh yes, that was your number 4. My number 4 is Evil Dead 2.
Ooh, never seen any Evil Dead movie. Sing me the
remedy
song,
that.
Keith.
Yeah. Sing me a song, Evil Dead Man.
Hey,
2.
for a song called Piano Man, that harmonica will not shut up.
No. That's a good. That's
I saw it on the internet. I'm sorry.
yeah. I was gonna say it's an older joke, but it checks out.
Yeah, yeah.
No, Evil Dead 2. So I love the Evil Dead series, and I'd love to talk about the whole series at some point, just because it's like it's a Michigan movie. It was kids from Michigan, but like raised money, filmed this movie. Yeah, yeah. It's Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, and they were all buddies and rented a cabin in Tennessee and just like made a movie. So that was the first Evil Dead, and the second one was kind of more of an official, like, budgeted, kind of straightforward movie. And so because of that, I just have such a love for that series. And I just think that's really, the sequel to that specifically is like, that's when they were like, this is what we wanted to do. We were trying to figure it out, So yeah, that's why it's one of my favorite sequels. So what is your next one?
We're on number 3 now, right?
Yep.
Number 3, Empire Strikes Back. Is this on your list?
Oh, it's on my list. It's higher, my friend.
Oh, then I'll save it. I'll
save it.
I'm shutting up. All right, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Mad Max 2, Road Warrior, which we just talked about. Mad Max. Once again, this is going to be redundant for anybody who listened to the last episode, but hopefully I'll give some new spins. But it's just a movie that, once again, the first one had such an interesting idea that I don't think was fully realized. And then the second one just kicked it in gear.
Yeah.
More. So
that's an interesting thing as well, because you said that the director for Mad Max and Mad Max Fury Road were the same.
Yes.
And that's also the same with Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, where the director gets the opportunity to say, this is really like, we've got the budget now, we have the support, we have the fans. This is really the thing we're going for. Do you think, this is a side tangent, do you think that's possible when a new director comes in? Let's say with Terminator 2, James Cameron comes in after riding the wave of the Terminator success. Is that a beneficial thing? Does that off-putting? Is it only beneficial because Terminator 2 did well and like have other movies failed because of that?
I don't know. I think you can see examples of both for sure. But it is really cool, especially when these passion projects like a Mad Max or an Evil Dead, they get a chance to do more and they want to do more. It's like that's like their baby, they have that and created that, and like they want to do it more. That's
Yeah,
right.
I think you want, when it's like a low budget, like you said, kids from Michigan doing something they love, you want them to stick around for the sequel more
Yeah.
so than like a legend like Ridley Scott. You're like, yeah, go on and do some other stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, Evil Dead 2, it's really, it's good. I always struggle sometimes because like, what's my positive thing about the movie? It's like, it's good. It's fun.
It's great.
But I mean it. I mean it with my whole heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mad Max 2, it's very much apocalyptic movie. And I love zombie movies. But I think it's fun when it's something different than zombies because like, what's this threat or what's going on, you know? And yeah, that's a fun one. And if you want to, of the 3 original Mad Max movies, the second one is definitely, you can tell, is the vibe that they want for the current day. Fury Road. Haven't seen it yet, but I'm assuming Furiosa. Like those are kind of the ones they're pulling from, I'd say the most.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. What's your number 3? Is that what we're doing next?
Number 3 is on your list. That's Empire. So I'm down to number 2.
You're at your number 2. All right, let's hear it.
All right. Blade Runner 2049.
Whoa.
Am I good?
I'm
talk?
shocked. I'm shocked that you didn't put my number 2 on there because I was going to say we have the
I
same
know
one.
exactly what your number 2 is. And
You
it's
know.
not that.
You know.
I thought about it, but let me speak about Blade Runner 2049.
Yes.
Denis Villeneuve. I
Is
saw
he
this
a director? Has he done other films
Movie. I
that I
don't
might
think
have
he's done
seen?
anything. Nothing
Okay.
that anyone would have seen, really.
This is something that he was just like kind of stumbled into and just kind of
Yeah.
threw a movie together and
Did a movie.
we'll hear him again.
He got like really low budget for this from the studio, so he had to get some no-name actors like Harrison Ford, Ryan Gosling, Dave Bautista, Robin Wright, Anna de Armas. Anyway,
You hate to see someone struggle, you know?
Yeah,
because of
yeah.
that
the strife, the plight of a aspiring filmmaker.
And we joke because we love that director, and he obviously
Yes.
did all the Dune movies, and just we're gonna have a whole episode on him at some point. But
We really will. And also joke because all of those actors that I listed are like top tier, the best of the best. So Blade Runner 2049, sequel to Blade Runner. I saw this movie with my dad in the summer 2017, summer or fall, and was completely taken aback by the visuals, the color palettes, the cinematography, the representation of sci-fi. I think at this point in my life, I was starting to break into movies, and I had never seen sci-fi presented to me in this way. Blade Runner was a big standout movie for me at this point in my life. That like Neo-Japan kind of style that was coming out in like the 70s and 80s of like everything's neon, bright colors, but like also it sucks. Like, like cities are overpopulated but there's like technology galore. So what does a messed up humanity do with a bunch of technology? And it's just so intriguing to me. So this is my second favorite sequel of all time. Yeah.
It's such a good movie as well. It's just like, man, you kind of feel the director, you just kind of see, and I don't want to say growth, like he started off in a bad place, but just you see his progression of the quality, because I think this was after Arrival. Yeah, if I'm right. And I see every movie is like, that was an amazing movie. And then the next one he does is like, that was even better, and wow, this director he's just killing it. All right, my number 2, which I'm shocked was not on yours.
I know.
Say it for me. What is
Dune Part 2.
No.
Oh, you're kidding.
Whoa.
You didn't
That's
do
it.
What?
I'm off the pod.
I quit.
I quit.
What is your number 2?
I'm shocked you didn't put this on here. Aliens.
Oh, shut up. That's further up my list. You can't talk about it.
Oh. Wait, I thought you oh, no. Sorry. Because Empire. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Shut your mouth.
Up. I was confused. I thought I had heard, but I forgot. This is not. There's one
Rookie.
more space available for you. So Aliens is my number 2.
All right.
Now we'll go to my number 1.
because
Yeah, this was your lowest. My number one is
Dune Part 2.
no.
What? Oh, is this
Stop.
Empire?
Stop making Dune Part 2 try to happen. It's not happening.
Is it Empire?
Yes, Empire.
Oh, good. Very good.
Sometimes
Honestly,
the wavelengths are off.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I'm impressed with us that we didn't put Dune Part 2 in here.
Yeah.
And the only reason I didn't is because I've only seen it once, and I've seen all 5 of
Yeah.
these movies at least 4 times.
I think new movies don't make it into my like love of movies until I've consumed
Mhm.
them several times. And like
Yeah.
even time has gone by. Like I've only seen it once.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think I want to watch it several more times.
Yeah.
And yeah, so all right, so let's talk about because this is my number one and it was your lower one, and then we'll go to your number one.
Okay.
Which I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, you can't, no.
Dune Part 10. No.
Absolutely not.
That's it. Get out of here. Leave your own house. Get out of your house. Empire. I mean, might even say cliche as one of the best sequels besides
Yeah.
like, A Godfather. But it is such a Star Wars was such a unique movie for its time. 1977. I'm always blown away at how A New Hope doesn't feel like a 70s movie. If you watch other 70s movies, they just have such a different vibe, and this feels so much like a different style of movie going forward. Like this is the new wave of these blockbuster movies.
Yep.
And Empire had so much to live up for, and I think it crushed it in every way. It was just, yeah.
Exceeded expectations. Absolutely.
Yeah. There's just a lot of love. I think we both just love Star Wars so much. And this one, especially, it's just like the story and just the visuals. I mean, I still remember Saturday mornings, I'd always love to throw in Empire, just like watch the snow battle, and it was just like, and then the whole revelation, the lightsaber fight between Luke and Vader, and just Boba Fett.
First time we see Boba Fett in live action after the holiday series.
Yeah.
Wow.
Classic. All right, let's get to your number one.
Yeah. Okay. But I want to throw in a trivia here for Empire. Did you know that Mark Hamill had to bang his head 16 times on the ceiling of Yoda's hut before Ivan Kirshner was satisfied? I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's like, do it again.
Yeah, like you can just hear him like, cut, nope, wasn't good enough, harder.
I want to see the pain. That's really.
And by the end, he's really getting it. Okay,
that's great.
My number one. Say it with me, Heath.
Dune Part 2.
My number one sequel is Aliens by James Cameron. I have 2 James Cameron movies on here.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I think so we think of sequels. When I think of sequels being bigger, better, just expanding really well, I think of Empire, which is why it's on my list. And I think that was the masterclass for like, you've got this concept in the first movie, the concept does well. Now you've got a ton of money. You've got the fan base. You've got the backing from the studio. Empire really set the stage for like what a sequel can do, right? Like how widely accepted, how far a movie can reach into culture and change culture. And I think that Aliens, while it's not on the level of impact that Empire had, I think it follows suit really well. I think Alien came out 2 years after A New Hope, and then Empire came out in 1980s. So 1986, there's a pretty like good foundation of sci-fi, but going from like a sci-fi horror into sci-fi action adventure via James Cameron, I think might have been a risky move if it wasn't an incredible movie. Yeah.
And I think that is definitely a benefit, is a sequel that does kind of shake it up. It's not just about being bigger and you know, louder. It's, I think about showing it in a different light, which one of my favorite things about Aliens is, you're right, it does shift it from a sci-fi horror to more of a sci-fi action, but it still has elements of horror.
Oh,
and it's really good. I mean, when they're all looking at the radar and the aliens are like, they're right here. Where are they? You know?
Yes.
Or like
they're right on top of us.
when they fall into the water, Ripley and Newt.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was one part. I'm like, oh man. And so it's just, I think it really captured a lot of things that people loved about the first one, but made it different enough so you're not like, it's not a conversation you would hear. It's like, what's better, Alien or Aliens? You know, it's like, I don't know. They're so different.
Yeah,
You can
so
enjoy them
different.
both, you know,
Yeah.
and
You should
Yeah.
enjoy them both.
what a satisfying movies to watch back to back, because the first one is slower and the second one is quicker,
Yeah.
you know, and like louder. So just like, man, if you're watching
boom,
back
boom,
to
boom.
back, just like, oh,
Mhm.
just keep going. So delightful.
That was so fun. Sigourney Weaver,
Mm,
1980s, 1970s Sigourney Weaver
yeah.
is my movie crush, man.
Yeah. And right to do so. And what's your boy's name from Alien? We always joke about that you dress like him as Halloween.
Oh, Dean Hart. Oh, what's
Here, you look it up. But yeah,
Yeah, it's,
Andrew dressed like him as Halloween, so we should post that picture too. 'Cause that
we
would be so
should. I
funny.
do. Yeah, I have a costume of him. Henry Dean Stanton
Yeah,
plays Brett in
Great,
Alien, and I have
great
a
character.
full Brett costume. I don't smoke cigarettes, nor have I ever, but was contemplating buying some cigarettes just to hold in my finger to complete the costume.
Right, just hold it in your mouth. Just say it
Yeah,
out there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll still do an Alien.
His
talk for now.
catchphrase.
Talking.
Yep.
Yep.
Is that all you say?
Oh.
Yep.
Yep. He's in Red Dawn as well, and he yells. He's the guy. It's avenge me. So every time I
Which is-
see him, it's like, I didn't know he could yell. He just says, "Yep."
Yep. He should have yelled "Avenge me" in that scene with the chains in the chain room.
Right. If
Yeah.
you're really quiet, you can hear it.
Avenge me. Avenge me. Yeah, he's talking to Jonesy. He's saying, Jonesy, avenge me.
I mean, we all know the cat was the hero, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's going to do it for this week. What's our next episode on?
Yeah. So next episode, we have best opening scenes for a movie. Yeah.
That's
So we're
gonna
going
be
to talk
fun.
about up to 5 opening scenes for a movie that stuck out to us, dropped our jaw to
Mm.
the floor.
Sucked us right in.
Mhm.
Made us
We can-
part of that world.
We could even qualify it and say this movie I don't like except for the opening scene.
Yeah.
Might be some of those in there. So I do have a question of the day if you're
Oh.
interested.
Yeah. Let's do the question.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This one's going to take some brain power. It's big
Okay.
brain time.
Let me go put on my big brain pants.
My big brain hat. You get to have dinner with 3 movie characters. Who is it?
What's the food?
What?
What's the food? What am I eating?
Does that matter?
No.
Oh, I was like, you can decide. I don't care. It's
3 movie characters?
You get 3 movie characters
Oh.
to eat dinner with. You and your 3 movie characters all talking with each other.
Neat. Okay. You got your answer?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Go for it.
First one would be, and they're in character, right? Not the actors. So it would be Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. So I got Peter Parker from early 2000s. I would go Luke Skywalker as Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker.
Mhm.
I don't really want to have food with whiny little kid, A New Hope, Luke Skywalker.
All right.
You know, I want like the mature, wise Luke Skywalker. Third, we're going R2-D2. I'm just kidding. I'd probably do. I feel like I got to throw it up in the air. I'm going to mix it up a little. I'm going to say Aang. We're going to animate. We're going animated. Yeah. Avatar Aang. And that could be as a child. That could be as a grown man. I don't care.
Well, and I would have a lot to talk to him about because as of last episode, I own Appa. So I
Yeah, exactly.
like,
Yeah.
like, hey, how is Appa?
That's why he's at my house. He's looking for you, actually. He's blowing
like-
his little whistle.
You're like, dude, but do you want to grab tacos real quick?
Yeah.
And he's
Wait,
like,
can we record an episode for the pod? Since you're here.
This is a tough one. You're
I
right.
know.
Because I kept thinking it needs to be someone interesting. So my heart says Gandalf.
Oh,
like
very
you could just
cool.
tell me some tales.
Yep, that's number one.
And then I would pick Michael Myers.
Oh,
because
cool.
he would
Why'd you
get
do
it.
it, Michael?
I would question him on some stuff, but he also wouldn't talk, so that would give more room for the Gandalf.
He's such a good listener.
And you know what? Okay, I'm gonna go controversial here. I would pick Jar Jar Binks
Wow.
because I would love to be engaged in a discussion with Gandalf, and then Jar Jar Binks' tongue comes out to grab some food, and I'd grab it and say, "Don't do that again."
Oh, man.
And Michael Myers would just be sitting there, no emotion.
How wooed.
I could see Gandalf being like, "It's this guy's."
Yeah. And how close in personality, like Jar Jar Binks thinks he's finally gotten away from Qui-Gon Jinn, but he just meets the Lord of the Rings version of Qui-Gon Jinn.
You are so right.
Yeah.
Is Qui-Gon Jinn?
He is the Gandalf.
Are they
Yeah.
soul brothers? I mean,
Yeah, there's-
man.
Some would say Yoda is the Gandalf figure, but I would disagree. I think Yoda is the Saruman, the evil one.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. Because like, not like they're so similar, but he is more of he's a part of the hierarchy, right? He's more
Part of the hierarchy,
yeah.
and also his mentality gives way for the reign of the evil figure.
Mm,
So Yoda doesn't sign up like Saruman signs up. Maybe Count Dooku would be Saruman.
Ooh.
Same actor.
They are literally.
But I certainly don't think Yoda would be Gandalf because he's blinded. He's
Yeah.
blinded by the council and the Senate, and he makes room for
I
Palpatine.
think it's time we inform the council that our ability to see the Force clearly is diminished.
No.
Multiply our adversaries. I think the Star Wars prequels would have been a lot more interesting if Yoda had already been on Dagobah. Like if he had already been kind of the kooky older ancient Jedi, and like Mace Windu would have been like the head of the military style.
Yeah.
I think that would have been really cool to play with, because it's like, well, he taught Qui-Gon or he taught Obi-Wan, but he's kind of the kooky Jedi. We don't age him.
Yeah.
And cool.
Like he was on the council a long time ago, but
yeah.
he like kind of lost his mind a little bit.
Yeah. They still could have brought him in for some end fights too, because that was fun. But awesome. Well, sweet. Why don't you take us home, Andrew? It was a fun episode.
It was such a fun time. We love doing this. Thanks for listening. You can find our podcast wherever you get podcasts. Full video show is on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. When we post stuff on Instagram, like it, comment, send it to your friends, send it to us, and give us feedback. Interact. It's so fun just to see everyone out there, see their opinions, and see how they like stuff, how they like movies. Next time, like I said, we have best opening movie scenes, so tune in next week. If you haven't gone back and listened to our must-see movie episode of the summer, head back that way and give it a listen. That was a really good one. So thanks for tuning in. Go see a movie.
Go see a movie.